Hey everybody, Scout Crafter here again. Today we have a nice pair of 75-year-old pliers, lock lines. I don't think you've ever seen these before, so let's go downstairs and check them out. Okay, today's unusual tool is a pair of Lock Line pliers from Ross Manufacturing Company. Now, these are pretty unpopular. You don't see these around too much. They're a locking plier. They work off a cam action. The problem is these are jammed. They just about move, and you can see why. There's some rusting here, whatever. Now these are riveted shut. You see these rivets here and peened over here? You're never going to get these. I'm not drilling them out or anything. It's a cam lock, but that's where our specialty lubricant will come in. And the first thing we're going to do is take the Dremel, go around here, get all visible rust and clean up all the edges here so that the lubrication will penetrate. So let's get to it. Okay, we have some good news. After about 15 minutes with the Dremel, I can open this up, and I got all the rust out from around. Now we're just going to use the 50-50 mix of transmission fluid and acetone and get that worked in really good. Okay, we have this wrench in operating the way it should be, and you can see here the writing on here. This was a Lock Line. And it says here that you can see the Ross Manufacturing Company. I believe the SF is San Francisco, made in the United States. It was invented by Abraham Hansen. He applied for the patent in 1943, March of 43. He got the patent in February of 1945. You could see the heavy dutiness, very similar to the plier wrench. Here you can see the embellishment on the handles, and a heavy duty wrench, and it is quite hefty. How we restored it and got it to work again, you know, besides, again, you had to flood it with that half 50-50 tranny fluid and acetone. And then to lubricate it, I used my mix of, this is a Marvel Mist Oil and red grease mixed up. Very nice mixture, and that is what we have to lubricate it. So it works just super smooth. It feels, again, like it's bearing operated in there. Really nice. So it's back to working. Let me show you how it works. It's a locking pliers, and let me show you the applications for this. Now, when we think locking pliers, we think of a form of vice grips or whatnot, and this design goes back to 1924. It's a fantastic tool, unbeatable. And but why were these invented then? In 1943, again, the patent applied for in 43 and received in 45. Why? You know, what was the use for these? And let me show you how they work. First of all, they don't have that. They do have a slightly compound action, which will give you a 2-to-1 pressure. But if you had, let's say, a bolt or something like that, and once you give it a quick squeeze like that, it locks on and stays locked. And then if you want to release, you just push the handles apart like that, and they come apart. So what is the advantage of having something like this compared to a vice grip? That's what we're trying to figure out here. If you had to, let's say you were working on a wire wheel or something, you could squeeze it once. It's solid, it ain't coming off. And then you could work around the wire wheel and whatnot without having to keep constant pressure on the pliers. So that might be one application. It is very easy to release once you clamp onto something. But if you give a good squeeze like that, it does not come off. It will not shake free or whatever. It's just solid. And again, just a quick push apart and it comes out. So that would be, I guess, some of the applications. I don't know why this plier was developed when there was other locking pliers. You can see here the cutters they have are pretty heavy duty. Here, I'm just going to give you a quick example of how they work. You could see it cuts very easily, very sharp. But, you know, again, I have never seen these really used in any profession or whatnot. So in closing, there we have our 1945, invented by Abraham Hansen, Lock Line pliers, locking pliers. I don't think you'll see these around too much in flea markets and whatnot. The going price on these is usually between $35 and $40 on eBay. And they're an interesting tool. I don't know how useful they are if you have a pair of vice grips, but just something to look at. And I appreciate you tuning in. Thanks very much. Have a nice day.